Welcome to the Brain Candy Podcast, episode 759. How are you? Oh, wait, one more day till Halloween, Sarah.
Oh my God, it's my favorite time of year.
You've been understated, though, this
really
year.
Cool. I have been understated. You know why? Because there have been a lot of like family celebrations. We just had Emmy and Elizabeth's wedding. So wonderful. So it feels like not like that doesn't feel spooky. It feels like adorable and lovey-dovey.
Right.
So, you know, but there is going to be spooky stuff happening tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
We are going to something called the Magic of the Jack-o'-lantern, which is where like thousands of carved jack-o'-lanterns all along the botanical gardens. Like you go on a walk and they have it all like decorated with all of these carved pumpkins and light show and stuff like that.
That's
And
really
spooky.
cute.
And
That is
probably,
spooky.
I would imagine, a fog machine.
Yes. Good. I love
I think
a
I want
fog
to get one of
machine.
those.
Yeah, we have one. I'm busting it out for our candy club meeting.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's
Oh,
going to be
my
spooky
God.
over here.
With the red back. I need to do that. Yes. I need that. I need to be
Go
here.
to Spirit. They have them at Spirit.
Write it. Put it. This is going on. Get ready. Get ready, guys. Woo, it's going to be a good one. I mean, wasn't it a good one? Because it already happened.
Right. I mean, everybody loves a fog machine.
Fog machine.
Crowd pleaser.
Right.
Yeah. And it doesn't have the danger of dry ice.
Yes, because
Which is
that
nice.
fucking freaks me out.
Yeah, bad things happen with kids and dry ice especially.
Yeah.
I don't want to
I
take that
definitely
chance.
picked up anytime there was a parent that showed a heightened amount of concern over our safety for anything. I picked that up and
Yeah.
like internalized that and took that message. And now I see everything as an AWH. It's like, nope, don't touch that. Nope,
You're
don't go near
right.
here. Nope, if you stick your head out the window, you will get decapitated. Like all that stuff. Like
Everything is an AWH. That's the
Yes.
thing.
Fucking everything.
I don't know how
Aye.
we're all alive. I don't know how
Susie-
we've made it this far.
I don't either. At the
Knock
wedding
on
table
wood.
rehearsal dinner, I damn near choked on an onion.
An
There was that
onion?
moment where I was making no noise, and people were like, Sarah, and I had to think to myself, would I like to either make the disgusting hawking noise
Right.
at the family rehearsal fancy dinner, sit
Yeah.
down,
Option one.
option one, or die.
Right. I don't know which is worse.
I don't either. So I was like, which one will cause less of a scene right now? Like the Heimlich maneuver or that terrible noise that I'm going to have to make? I did go with terrible noise, and it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. But
Was
there
it like a
was
cocktail onion or something?
no, it was a piece of an onion because it was curved. I didn't chew my food well enough, and it got caught like under my uvula or something. And I was like trying to breathe. It was like caught because it was like curved, you know, like how onions are rolling around like that.
Oh
And I was
my
like,
God.
and then went and coughed it up in my hand, and
Oh
then
my
just like put it on the
God.
floor because I'm like, I don't know what else to do with the onion that I just got.
I'm glad there was no Heimlich involved.
Yeah, so that was my fun. I don't even know what got me on this.
Wow.
Oh,
Well,
th-
just how
about
we're
life
lucky to
being
be alive.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day.
Amen.
The
Gratitude,
international symbol for I'm choking is 2 fingers on the throat.
Oh, this is very good to know.
It doesn't seem urgent enough, though.
It doesn't. 2 fingers is like the golf
so
clap
elegant.
of
Yeah.
death warnings, like of flagging somebody down.
Yeah, right.
Like, no, I'm going to need like something a little more dramatic than that.
Exactly. Because choking and drowning are shockingly quiet.
Yes.
Things
Yeah,
that
people
can
don't
happen.
really like flail around as much as you
No,
think
they
they would
just
when they're
sort of
drowning. Just, yeah.
They
See little
sink
bubbles
like a
coming up.
stone.
Oh,
Especially little
God.
kids. They just sort of go under.
Oh my God, Suze, this is
I
terrifying.
know.
Now this just became a Halloween episode. Creepy.
Well, anyway, happy Halloween,
Yeah,
everybody.
happy
Hope you have a very
Halloween.
safe holiday.
Check your candy for razor blades.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, anyway, so you had a good
Anywho.
weekend. The flowers looked beautiful. I saw them on your Insta
so
story.
fun. So nice.
Yeah. Remember in the 80s when baby's breath had a real moment
Oh my
in
God.
floral arranging?
And carnations.
Yeah, who was behind this?
I do not know. Which in my mind, I was like, carnations are cheap flowers, right? No.
Yeah.
They are not.
Shut up.
Not when
Why
you
were
buy
they such a bargain then?
I don't know. They were, right?
I think they still
and baby's
are.
breath. Baby's breath, I will say, dried does look nice. I'm for this.
I know. Bring it back.
Yeah.
All the 80s stuff. Let's go big.
Make it a comeback.
Okay. Well, let's see. Let's jump right in, shall we? Oh, I wanted to tell you before I forget that we watched the first episode of British Bake Off, and it is definitely just you and Eli that think that there's loud
Too much chewing?
Yeah.
It was like the first and second episode, and then it's not. I don't notice it anymore. Because now we're on like episode 4, and I'm not noticing it.
I think
Was it
Eli maybe
like
noticed and mentioned it.
Okay, what if this happens? This has happened on our show before.
Yeah.
There was some weird like editing issue with one of like the audio tracks as they
but only
launched
you
it.
could hear it and I couldn't.
No, but like then it was fixed.
Oh, yes.
You know,
Maybe.
they've done that with the challenge before, where I've heard a version where I was like, this is weird.
maybe.
There's no background music. And then next time I see it, there is background music.
That's possible.
Okay.
But when
'Cause it was,
by the time
weird
I
and
watched
noticeable,
it-
I was like, what the fuck? How come they're chewing so loud? How come there's no background music?
We did notice the tea slurping was gross. So maybe I sensed it in that scene. They were very loud about their tea drinking.
Okay, I'm going to have to pay attention to this.
There you go.
Either way, drinking or chewing, both of us are noticing too much noise with the consumption of.
We were paying attention though because you had alerted us.
I had alerted you.
Yeah.
But how you liking this season? What do you think? New hosts?
Great. Yeah, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always a pleasure when it comes back.
It's the
always
best. My seasonal antidepressants is what I call them.
Yeah, it's always just like, it's like an old friend, you know?
Yeah, the best.
Okay, now for real, I'll get into my stuff. Did you see, maybe you did because it's like local to you, that it was one of those green funeral homes in Colorado, and they were just like keeping the bodies there and like not disposing of them? They found 189 bodies decomposing at a quote-unquote green funeral home. This really is a spooky episode already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I wish I had spooky music. I should do what if I did...
They found bodies.
Ooh. Do spooky like that. Spooky.
What do you mean? Oh, okay.
Spooky.
That was so fun. Yes.
Yeah, so... You know how we've talked previously about these funeral homes that are like marketing to this group of people that want to be like very environmentally conscious and be just like throw their bodies
organically buried and return to the earth is blah blah blah.
Yeah, they don't do any
But this
embalming
is really
or
just
anything.
like we're just throwing them in the backyard and hoping for the best.
Yeah, and they're not even burying them. They're just hanging out at this building. That is disgusting.
At this building? Okay, in my mind I had it like there was like a cute little cabin in the woods somewhere and there was like, I don't know, bodies in the background, but they were like getting eaten by like wildlife and grown into mushrooms and cool shit. No, this is like a strip mall and they're just disposing of bodies. Ew, that's just a mass grave.
Yes! That's so gross.
Fucking nasty. This is not what those people had in mind, I'm sure. How did they find out about this?
The smell. That's why I don't understand how they think they're going to get away with it.
I'm going to puke.
What is your end game here? Green funeral home?
Have you ever kept, like, thrown away a package of chicken, like when you're cooking chicken or something, and you leave that in the garbage can for like a day or two? That is the packaging with just a little chicken juice in there.
Just some juice.
Imagine what the juice of an entire body, let alone 160-something, would be smelling like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
and I suspect a lot of these green ones are going to be like that. Not because the environmentalism is a problem, but because you can exploit people who are wanting that And
When you say green,
yeah,
all people listening right now,
yeah.
when Susie says green, aren't you picturing actual like greenery, like green stuff, like plants, like a green burial, like it involves nature somehow? That is such a bait and switch.
Yeah. Basically,
That's
all they're
like
doing is not using chemicals and then providing like a decompostable casket. Well, supposedly, apparently not.
Right. Not here.
No, they just kept that money.
I do think
did.
we have a big problem with how we dispose of bodies. I don't know. It
You
just
mean
feels
humans or just like
Yeah.
America? Or
like I understand. like,
there should be a better way, kind of?
I think eventually we're going to run out of space. Right?
It sure seems that way. Every time I drive past a cemetery, I'm like, I don't think we thought this through.
Same. I'm like, I'm doing the math over here, and the math ain't mathin'.
It's mainly the stones that are the problem because everything underneath eventually would probably decompose, right?
Yeah,
It's
right.
that darn
but it's
stone taking up so much space.
It does seem like we need natural, like
What, like
I don't
only
know.
on felt the motion that
I'm
you're doing.
essentially like, yes, I'm essentially like motioning that we need mass graves. Exactly what this thing is offering.
Right.
Like, yeah, just like big things to dump them in, and then like something eats up all the dead bodies. Ugh.
I know it's
No.
tricky though because people, it's important, the ritual and
Yeah,
how we
I
treat
love
our
that.
dead, but
It is important.
there are some logistical problems. If this
Yeah.
is giving you nausea, may I suggest a relief band?
Can I tell you a funny story? There was a woman who was standing next to me at the wedding who was complaining about how there was a windy road and she's going to get car sickness. And I lean over and I go, you know what? I have an amazing cure for that. And I just didn't even tell her about the code, so you guys are all lucky. But I just straight up was like, I used to get car sickness so bad, and I even tested it by reading in the car. This stuff is amazing, or this thing. This little tool, I keep it in my first aid kit.
Yeah, everybody should. Everybody needs this in their kit for whether you are hungover, you have a migraine, just motion sickness like on a boat, car sick. What did I say? Morning sick? Morning
Maybe,
sickness.
but
for
we'll say
pregnancy.
it's worth mentioning it again.
Yeah, because for real, if I had known about this when I was preggers, this would have been required. Anyway, it's just a little band you wear on your wrist, and I don't know how it does it, but it's natural, it's fast acting. It will last as long as you need it, and it's 100% drug-free, non-drowsy, and has 0 side effects. So
Amazing.
Come on. I don't know. It's amazing. So if you always have a flashlight on hand for a blackout or a first aid kit on hand for emergencies, then you need a relief band for those unexpected nausea moments. Right now, we've got an exclusive offer just for Brain Candy listeners. If you go to reliefband.com and use promo code CANDY, you'll receive 20% off plus free shipping. So head to reliefband.com and use our promo code CANDY for 20% off plus free shipping. It's amazing.
Yeah, love it.
All right, so that's about it about the dead bodies. I just wanted to alert you since it was so close to home,
Yeah, that's
that
crazy.
could have been the one you used if you signed up for when you pass away.
Gosh.
It happens to
RIP.
everyone, Sarah.
I get it. Just don't throw me in the mass grave. Yeah, there is a haunted house around here that claims to be, it's land that every year around Halloween gets turned into this like haunted maze. And when you walk through, there's like the story of the land that it's on, on the wall that you could read. And originally it was like a bunch of weird stuff happened. There was a plane crash and you could still see the plane, like they left the remnants of the plane there. And then they have this whole story about it. It's like one of the original locations of one of those body farms where they were like researching how bodies were decomposing, like for science and for like, I don't know, crimes and stuff like that. And then the land was bought and that by somebody who, I don't know, probably likes spooky stuff and turned into a Halloween maze. Ooh, creepy. But I don't even know how much of that is true. But there really is a plane crash over there.
And you think it's a legit plane crash?
I don't know.
Now you're having doubts. everything
mean-
feels like a lie ever since you found out about the green funeral home.
Yeah. Not even green. Cement. Big old bucket of bodies.
Oh, God. A bucket is so gross. Okay. Moving on. My sister, Gretchen, always alerts me to the most fascinating documentaries. And the most recent one that she did was called Second Chance. And it was on Hulu, but through Showtime.
Okay.
And it was about the guy who invented the, bulletproof vest. Like the, modern day bulletproof vest that all the police use and all that. And
I thought it was a woman who invented Kevlar. Are these two different things?
wow, no, they talked about Kevlar. That may have been like a later fabric.
Okay.
I think there have been stages of what has been used, and then they eventually had a much thinner one. But
Yeah.
that might have been the one that ended up being a problem because the documentary talked about how, like, they came out with this super lightweight one, and I think that was the name of the brand. And then it was like, oopsie, like the bullets could penetrate it. They didn't always, but sometimes they did.
Oh, God.
Okay, so this guy, he's real quirky, and he claims to have been in this like stick 'em up, hold up situation that like inspired him to solve the problem. Okay. I don't even know if it's true.
Stick 'em up, hold up. Like, I just took pictures like,
Like the old
draw,
movies, like, stick 'em up.
partner. Like,
Yeah. And so he wanted to solve the problem of if you're shot. And so he did this, but whatever. But he wanted to test them all. And so he shot himself 190 times or something.
This seems like
this. Like,
No!
right? Yeah, like he holds the gun and points it into his stomach while he's wearing this vest to prove that it's effective. It's cuckoo crazy.
inventors of stuff are often weird.
Yes. Why is that? Tell me.
I don't
You always
know.
have a theory.
I don't have one
Like-
for this. Maybe like
I guess-
your mind is open to so many different ideas, so your
Yeah.
mind is also so open to so many different ideas.
That is so true.
Like the
Yeah.
inventor of Vaseline ate like a tablespoon of Vaseline every day.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
It was on Jeopardy once, that question.
Okay. And it's like they want to prove that it's like a great product. That's what he was doing.
They get like locked into like my invention is like the cure all. It's like
Yeah.
buying their own like snake oil.
Exactly. That is exactly what happened with this guy where it's like you're saying, it's hard to know like what came first.
Yeah.
Whatever. But he got very invested in this narrative and the mythology of this vest. And they
I'm sorry, it sounds like a joke. I do understand this is a serious story, but
well, but it is absurd. When you watch even the trailer, it's like, what is happening here? Because they would make these like videos to present to police as a way of saying like, you all need to buy this vest.
yeah.
So they're essentially sales videos, but they would like almost like recreate like what
Yes.
could happen.
Dramatic reenactment. of, like,
Yes.
And I can imagine those guys like, oh, get all the ground, like basically wannabe cops
Totally.
acting out, or military guys acting out their fantasies.
Yeah.
Okay,
But then
I see what this is.
So then all these police departments are like, well, we got to get these vests. And then they didn't directly say it, but there was this implicit idea that these types of videos, which are trying to sell a product, almost work as propaganda that makes the police force think they're under threat all the time. And then that can influence.
Like in the same way that they say like alarm systems on your house make you feel like you're going to get broken into all the time. Of like just having that like, we're constantly monitoring your house. You know, that like that commercial they used to ADDT or whatever. Like that shit.
Yeah.
It's like,
And
and,
so it
then I
plants
found out
this
like people,
idea.
I think we read another article or talked on the show before about the it increases your likelihood of getting broken into if you have one of those signs out in front of your house, because then people who are aware of how to bypass those different security systems are like, oh, great, thank you for advertising which one I need to use, what I need to use to get in here.
Wow. I did not remember that. And I always think about how, like,
we talked on here about this.
If you go on eBay, you can just buy like an ADT sign.
Yeah.
Well, that's like doubly bad.
Right. Now you have no protection, and they're like, those guys.
Yeah.
I just am like, what are they going to steal
thought.
at my house? My Buzz Lightyear action figure?
Well, so
what are they coming for?
You're not worried about being burgled?
Not one little bit.
That's great. I'm glad
Never
you don't live
worry
in
about
fear.
burglary. No, I mean, I do of other things all the time.
Just not that.
Just like constantly.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm not afraid of, and that is my cats hating their cat food.
Oh,
because
I know we're talking about some bird, delicious bird here.
Yeah,
what is
ground and smooth bird and other
smooth
bird.
Other bird, yeah.
Small's cat food. You know, I love it because my cats love it, and they're so happy. And I've told you this before, but I swear that they love me more. There's a lot more snuggling.
That's true.
Cuddling, like nestling.
Susie, if you all of a sudden started feeding me delicious treats all the time,
Right.
and went from feeding me like disgusting, dry, like,
Yeah, right.
you know,
Sawdust.
right,
Practically.
to here's some delicious
Smalls.
human grade food.
You said it. They're
I'm giving you
grateful.
smooches.
I'm telling you, this stuff is awesome. It is great because it does not smell like all the other wet cat foods that you've, I'm sure, experienced, and they're hideous. And they donate to the Humane Society, which we love. And you can add on to your order if you would like to add to their donation. But it's just great. You can skip your shipments, change how often you need them, whatever. It just comes right to your door, and your cats will love it. Is your cat food giving back to cats in need? Smalls is. So if you want to give Smalls a try and ditch kibble forever, head to smalls.com/braincandy and use promo code braincandy at checkout for 50% off your first order, plus free shipping. That's the best offer you'll find, but you have to use our code braincandy for 50% off your first order. One last time, that's promo code braincandy for 50% off your first order, plus free shipping. And if you don't have a cat, you should get one because they're great.
I think I'm going too soon.
I know. What are you waiting for?
Waiting for nothing. I think.
Yeah. Okay, good. Maybe
Yeah.
2024, year of the cat.
Yes.
I don't actually know if it is, but for you, it could be.
Yeah, mango and something.
You're getting two cats?
Oh, come on! You can't just get one. That's cruel.
Yeah. That's
I mean,
cool.
no.
They do love they love to play.
They need. I'm gonna get like siblings.
Okay, great.
You know,
Maybe
like
twins
little,
or like from the same
I mean,
litter.
I think, aren't they all kind of twins?
That's so true.
When their brothers, like they came from the same litter.
I know.
Right.
Yeah, they are. That's a good point. And
Triplets,
they're like
quadruplets,
monozygotic or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Anywho, so that documentary is super wild. And then when that new fabric came out, and then it was like not great, and people died, you know, and he like can't admit that they should have done things differently.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, that's like getting that stuck, you know, like fixated
Right.
on your idea, and things existing in a vacuum where you like can't see outside perspective or.
Yeah. It's wild. Anyway, okay. So that's fun and unusual. What do you think of the Britney Spears memoir situation?
Oh, I was going to talk about this. Yes, this is.
We can save it.
No, we're talking about it right now. Like I need to talk about this. It's like
Yeah.
what I wrote down. Like talk to Susie about documentary or memoir. I think it's. I of course haven't read. I've only heard like bits
Sure.
and pieces about it, and like Justin Timberlake's reaction, and you know Jessica Biel being
What
like,
was his
"Leave the past in
reaction?
the past." I in a way, kind of like it felt kind of like playing dumb or dismissive or like let's just skip over it. Of like almost like it was in the past and we were both young kind of thing.
And how can you bemoan how you're always under the microscope and that the paparazzi and the pressure of fame, but then you do the same thing to another celebrity by exposing them.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like not great.
Or do you think maybe it's like she is finally getting the opportunity to be the one on the dishing and
yes,
doesn't it
I get
kind of
that.
sound like the age that she was when a lot of this was happening? Which seems maybe there's a little bit of her that's like mentally still hasn't,
No doubt about that.
yeah, gotten past those moments or healed. And
Yeah. I mean, even just the exclamation points and the emojis in her captions, like on Instagram.
yeah, okay, got it. I thought you meant in her book, and I was
no,
like, no.
because I hope so, but I don't know. I doubt it. But I'm just like, ma'am, it's
Man, they should
too many
let
emojis.
celebrities who are doing books like that write with emojis, and please just give them free reign. Make that happen, publishing companies. Jessica Simpson's, hers would have been better.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's the only way it could have been better. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like this is because I read this piece about how the Free Britney movement, you know, whenever she was let out of the conservatorship, they sort of expected this, you know,
Was this
transformation.
in the Atlantic that you read this?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think I like started this as well.
It might have been Vulture. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
But, and then
Who isn't
that
doing
didn't
a Britney
happen.
Spears article?
Yeah, right. There's a lot of think pieces.
Right.
But then that didn't happen. She was still seemingly unwell, maybe, or whatever.
Yeah, dancing with the plastic knives. But, yeah.
But then they are still doing that. Like, they're still analyzing all of her posts. And some people call the cops and want to do, like, a wellness check and stuff.
I think it's more like free Britney as in leave her the heck alone. Like, free her from the conservatorship, but also from the scrutiny and judgment and speculation. And if she wants to be a cuckoo crazy lady, then let her be a cuckoo crazy lady. She's
You
just
think
like
she wants
settling.
to be?
She does.
Okay, got it.
She wants to be. You don't dance like that with knives if you don't want. Or if you're a little.
You
kooky.
do if you're unwell, right?
Yeah,
So then
but
it's not
where's
a want.
the line?
That's so true.
Really? Come
That is
on.
so true.
Who
Yeah.
doesn't have a quirky aunt or somebody who's like? I mean, I definitely.
Are you a little bit
have-
jealous? Like
What if
you're,
quirky Aunt Brittany?
yeah, like when you're talking about it, I feel like part of you's like, I want to do that.
I don't want to dance
bit.
with knives, but I definitely get like the quirky, like, you know, just
Not
like,
giving a F. Kind of
yeah,
deal.
and I could just. I think she. I don't want to diagnose people, but she probably has like histrionic personality disorder. It's like a little.
You say it all like it's no big whoop.
I mean, she's like
Who doesn't?
cuckoo and wants to dance and be crazy and
Yeah, she loves dancing.
and impulsive and maybe a little like, you know, wear some funky clothes and get some attention and okay, get after it.
Yeah.
If she weren't Britney Spears, she's just a regular lady, this would not be a big deal. This would be like your crazy neighbor down the street.
That's right. Well, but that's the thing, though, because it's not just that she's a celebrity and acts like this. It's because she didn't always. And so, like, I think people want an
That's how
explanation.
mental health works.
But that's hard for people to understand.
Like a lot of these things don't, or even behavior changes don't present themselves until, you know, late 20s.
Let me ask you this about that.
Actually,
because
earlier.
it's really hard to conceive of that if you have never experienced it. So, like with Amanda Bynes, similar, where she was so with it. Like when she was a kid, she had amazing comedic timing. She was like very in on the joke, and then it changed. And same with Britney. So it's like, did they know that they're different than they were, do you think?
I don't know how to answer that.
I don't either.
I think those same. You know, when we read Michael Pollan's book, How to Change Your Mind, and it talked about the effects of psilocybin on people who already have schizophrenia and how it can be, or people who are already predisposed to schizophrenia and how it could trigger that because they already have a wiring for having a brain that is more open to question mark. I don't know what the hell. Open to who knows, Lord knows what, whether it's different
spirituality,
parts of brain working or ideas or
Yeah.
open to like more parts of the brain like firing at one time or like not, whatever it is. And how, like, I could imagine if you had a house where you just left the front door wide open, maybe for the first 6 months or so, or maybe for the first however long the front door was open, nobody would come in, or maybe just a few animals and bugs would come in, and it would be like, I don't know, kind of cool or weird or interesting. Open air. Yeah. Then after a little while, maybe some other weird things start getting in there, and now you like
squatters.
It's not just like right away they all rush in.
Okay.
I've even used like an analogy or metaphor or whatever that I like to use with clients, and this isn't about mental illness. I mean, you could use it like this, but this is about just like maybe the coping strategies that we develop when we're kids, or the things that we use to function in this world. It's kind of like when you go to Home Depot and you buy a houseplant. And when you first buy a houseplant, it's like super full and lush, and you could do nothing to that houseplant, maybe just like water it here and there, but like not change its soil, not, give it fertilizer, and it'll look good for like a long time, like maybe like a whole season.
Yeah.
And then it gets to a point where you have another houseplant that maybe you've been changing the soil, taking better care of, has better resources, blah, blah, blah. There isn't like something in the soil that's a problem. You don't see those things until down the road. Then after like not maintaining, that's when the leaves start falling off and it starts showing the signs of those things. So it feels
of
like
the neglect and the problems.
Yeah. So I think that's a little bit of this. Is like kind of a combination of those
it might
two
seem like it's sudden,
things.
but it's not.
It's not. It's just like you're starting to see the symptoms of this over time. Like I guarantee there are behavioral things. Another example is Jake Lloyd, the kid from Star Wars who played Anakin Skywalker, I babysat. And was like one of Jordan's best friends.
Right. Yeah. And then trouble
Yeah.
showed up. Just to take a break about another kind of trouble that can crop up and you can get symptoms is stuff with your female parts or your womb, as it were. And thanks to modern fertility, you can see those red flags and learn about what's going on for a lot cheaper and a lot easier.
It is so important to have this information, and especially like the different, like the range of results that you get from this. I feel like this is such a comprehensive test that shows so many different things. It's not just like, one little part of
You can learn about your hormones.
Yes.
If you have PCOS or other red flags,
How
if you want to
many
know
eggs you
about,
have.
which is really important.
Those are like all different tests sometimes if you do like.
Yeah. And
know?
normally if you went to a clinic or your doctor's office, it would cost hundreds and hundreds.
Right.
But this is $179, and you can go to modernfertility.com/braincandy to get $20 off your test. You take it at home, send it off. In a few days, you get your results and you can consult about it. Right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $20 off the test when you go to modernfertility.com/braincandy. That means your test will cost $159, which is a fraction of what it would cost at a fertility clinic. Get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/braincandy, modernfertility.com/braincandy. We love telehealth. We love remote stuff.
Yes.
So much easier.
Oh,
Okay.
So much easier.
Yeah, you're right. I'm seeing what you're saying. I guess it is very mysterious, and I don't know what they perceive as having changed or if they do at all. But from the outside, it's like pretty drastic. Okay, moving on.
Oh, I do
wasn't even
think
on
with
my
a lot of
list.
these child stars, the same things that make them really good
Yeah.
at being child stars are maybe some, not all the time, but often like the same symptoms of some of
Yeah.
these.
It's like the
mental
flip side
illnesses.
of
Yes.
whatever.
Yes. Oh. Support,
Okay.
strong family, resources, people watching and protecting these kids. I'm really worried about the YouTube, like that generation of kids that were like forced to
The
be in
YouTubers or the people
Yeah.
watching? Oh,
The people on there,
like
in the
child- yeah.
yes, that are like that is. We're gonna just see more and more of these stories.
yeah. There's going to be a lot of documentaries about all
Yeah. Oh yeah.
that. Okay, this next topic involves one of Sarah's professional, like, what's the word? Idols or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Celebrities, which
Oh.
is Robert Sapolsky.
Yes, I knew you were gonna say him.
Very exciting. His new book out called Determined. And what he determined is shocking.
Tell me.
Okay, so if you're not familiar, this is like a
love
heavy hitter in
this.
like the neuroscience and psychology and all those overlapping worlds. And he became famous for the like survival stuff, right? Like
Yeah, like Why
fight,
Zebras
flight.
Don't Get Ulcers is a book
Yeah.
he had that talked about. He was really big on studying stress. Oh,
Do you see that?
yes, Susie just is learning the new reaction thing that I guess it's happened on Zoom too. If you've gotten a new update on your Apple computer.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it now reads hand gestures and stuff that you make and it animates them.
That was super weird, Sarah.
Yeah, you did like a thumbs up, and so like it's happened on Zoom when I'm like talking to clients too, and we're all like, "What the heck?" But
I
now,
don't
why
like
isn't
it. Thumbs
yeah.
down for that.
Why isn't it working now?
Yeah, right. I don't like it. I know that. Thumbs down, Apple.
Doesn't do it for me. Who knows? That's weird. I don't like.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay. So he looked at stress and the effect. He was like watching troops of baboons and measuring like the stress and how stress affects like social interactions and stuff like that. Hierarchy.
Yeah. And now he basically is saying that he does not believe that humans have free will of any kind.
Whoa.
And so this is like, provocative and controversial take to, he's saying, just to clarify, he's saying nothing anybody does is because they chose it. It's all predetermined and
By what? Biology?
by everything, that you have no free will. Nothing you do is your choice. And so there's, other neuroscientists and philosophers and scholars who are like, he is brilliant and he is wrong.
Yeah.
Like he's both. But he's saying this is what he believes after studying everything that goes on in the human behavior and the human body and the context of the world, physics. That's what he thinks. That because they've
I'm gonna
done
have
these
to read
things
this.
where, like, even when you think like I'm going to pick up this can of water,
Right.
that your brain has already started deciding that before you're conscious
Right.
of that.
Pre-contemplation. Right. Where it's like
Yeah.
there's already a decision-making process going on before you've even recognized that you are part of the decision-making process.
Yeah, and then he's taking that a step further and saying that, like, because some people believe there's just like a limited range, but you do have some agency and you do have some whatever. But he's saying no, non-zero.
Like there's a part of me that wants to say I chose this sweater to wear today.
Yeah.
But I can see how you can make an argument like something like picking up a, glass of water to drink isn't as much of a free will as you think it is. Mm-hmm. And maybe saying like, it's not really free will because, I don't know, the weather is what I'm going to pick to wear based on the weather is already predetermined by past actions and my familiarity with the weather in the past and what I've worn and what's been comfortable. So already by just the temperature outside, my choices are then the range of choices like smaller. And then we can like narrow in what's clean, that's smaller. And then like what's like right in front of my, I don't know, vision, that's smaller. Like, so like now this, like, what am I going to wear today isn't everything in my closet. It's really just like 2 sweaters, this one or this one. And so I could see like if you kind of break that down, how you could make that argument for everything. But like, I wonder if this is not just something that we've talked about before, which is how nothing anymore is nuanced and how people have to, in order to like make points on the internet or like get all of the people sell a book and get everybody talking like we're doing right now, and how all the neuroscientists are like, you make like these kind of extreme statements that then in the book will maybe be like further explained or rolled back or I don't know.
Well, some scholars though feel like even if your book and your data and your scholarship is nuanced and complex and not exactly as it sounds in that soundbite, that you still shouldn't be saying it, because most people are definitely not smart enough to handle that appropriately.
Oh,
and will,
that's correct.
Shouldn't be told that like nothing they do is within their control, because then, because the Washington Post article that I read started by talking about how the way that the law works now is that, like, if you have a seizure when you're driving your car, you're not going to go to jail for murder.
Right.
And because we understand that you didn't have any control over that.
Right.
And so...
slippery slope here.
Yeah. Yes. And that's what Robert believes, is that, like, anything you do, murder or otherwise, anything at all, you had no control over it.
Oh, for Pete's sake. No.
And I guess a lot of people would argue, well, perception is reality. So if we believe we have free will, then we ought to just
would he like get caught cheating by his wife or something like that?
God, this is probably like an elaborate,
yeah, this is like a listen, hear me out. I didn't mean to. I couldn't help myself.
This is my life's work, okay?
It's for science.
I am esteemed. It's for science. So, yeah, it's controversial. I look forward to reading the book, though, because I'm sure there is a lot more to it. But even if he's right, it's sort of like, shut up, Robert.
Yeah, I'm annoyed by that. I'm actually, this is like one of those never meet your heroes things. And, like, don't worry, because I didn't.
You do that every time. Spit takes Susie over here.
So what I'm referring to is like Susie like tried to get an interview with him, and
I just tried to get him to wish you happy birthday, sign a book or whatever.
Sign a book, like something.
It wasn't
really,
even like any big deal,
right? Just like do this nice, And
in the article, it said how he went into this field because one night when he was a kid, he had this epiphany that God doesn't exist and we have no free will. Okay, so it seems like we have like confirmation bias cooking here. Anyway, but it also said like, so then he became obsessed with this field and would like obsess about the heavy hitters and want to talk to them and meet them. And I'm thinking, well, then you should have signed the GD book, Robert.
Yeah, and how many women,
she's not just any old,
look like me and Susie are trying to be in this guy's fan club.
Yeah,
I would imagine not a lot.
If I got mad at him, though, he'd say, "Look, I had no free will over that."
Never meet your heroes.
Real convenient.
Yeah. I'm gonna skeptically read this book.
Yeah. Well, I won't be skeptical about Dipsy stories, though.
No, now there's something that I know will always make me feel good.
Dipsy stories. If you would like to get your motor running or wind down, these stories got you covered. They are stories that a lot of them are erotic and romantic and wild. And then others are great for going to sleep.
Remember when I talked about that train station analogy about how we have to get to first from like wound up to like being a person to then calm to then like turned on? This is like, do you want to go one stop on the train station or do you want to go 2 stops?
Yeah. You want to spice things up or cool things down?
Yeah. You just want to go to calm? We got you.
They got you.
Pound Town? They got you too.
For listeners of the show, Dipsy's offering an extended 30-day free trial when you go to dipsystories.com/braincandy. That's 30 days of full access for free when you go to dipseastories.com/braincandy. dipsystories.com/braincandy. I mean, great for sexy stories or whatever mood you're in.
Yes.
Okie doke. What else? This was weird. Maybe you can help me sort it out. It was an article about whether we can have olfactory illusions. So like, you know how you can have a visual illusion?
Yes, I think so.
Oh. Okay, well,
but why?
It was saying that what you're probably thinking of, they would call olfactory hallucinations, where like you think you smell smoke, but there's no smoke. Something like that.
Yeah.
But an illusion would be like when you're misperceiving a smell.
Oh.
They say this person says it's not possible. I was so confused by it though.
So I'm trying to think. Have you ever had one of those situations where you went to go eat a food or somebody said like, here, try this, and your expectation of the flavor profile was so wildly different than what it actually was? Like you thought something was going to be sweet and it was sour or vice versa. And it almost takes you a little while for your brain. You have to like chew it a little more because you're like, what? Oh, I didn't. So, but that's in a way just like you're, I don't know, already heading down one road and then it just changes direction. But is it like that?
Well, that's the thing. So this person said, like, if you see something incorrectly, you have a sense of it. Like you can see, like, you can look at an illusion and know it's an illusion.
Yeah.
But that's not possible with smell. And it was saying like, okay, if you heard a sound, even if it's not, you don't know where it's coming from, like your ears will be like, oh, it's over there. Uh-huh. Whereas smell, like if you close your eyes and just smell, you have no idea where it's coming from.
Right.
And so like they were using that as evidence that you can't have an olfactory illusion.
Huh.
I was like,
so what I would imagine is that what it takes to stimulate the olfactory senses is the presence of an actual molecule or something. Like when we're smelling something, we're not just like sniffing the air. Like you can measure that. You can see the particles that we're smelling. Like garbage smells different than cookies because of the particles that are in the air, right?
I guess so.
And so if the presence of particles aren't there, we can't stimulate maybe that part of the brain that's sending the messages about the smell. Like you need the presence of smell, like the actual thing. Like in order to think you're smelling cookies, you need, I don't know, vanilla, whatever fucking particles are in the air that you smell and know it's cookies. Whereas with the vision stuff, you need to visually see something that looks like, I don't know, a monster, but is really a coat on a chair. All of the and then your brain goes, oh wait, that's not what it really is. But if the
there
if
is
the
a there
particles are in
there.
there is a there, but it's not what, like, you can't misinterpret a smell because the particles aren't ever different. But we can misinterpret something visually because our eyes are like, I'm having a hard time explaining this, but I kind of understand what they're saying. If this is in fact how I understand it is correct, that I've never accidentally smelled cookies. I may think I smell something like far away, and then I get closer to it. I'm like, oh yeah, that is cookies. Or I get like a whiff of something in the air.
I know what you're saying, that like it's not just a perception. There's actual molecules.
Yeah.
Right? But so maybe that is the explanation. But I don't think that I think it's a she. I don't think she was very good at explaining it either.
Yeah.
It got to the point where I'm like, I'm going to have to just take your word for it on that one.
Yeah. And that's
it was in Popular Science.
And sometimes it feels like the science isn't all there when it's not.
Well, that's actually, I think the point is this person was like, we need more money for research, and nobody wants to study it because
Look
it's
at
like
how confusing this is. Aren't you confused reading this article? Me too. Give us money.
Yeah, and they thought maybe after COVID, when people were losing their smell and started to realize how important smell is, that it would help. But they're like, nope, no more money. It's just same as always.
Oh, yeah.
Which would suck. Because I do want to get to the bottom of it.
I do too.
It's very mysterious smell.
It is. And I will say, I think that we would probably, like, after I tell the story, we will have people who write in and say, oh, me too, me too. When I say, like, I've never, like, smelled cookies and they aren't there, I thought about that. I have definitely smelled my grandma, and, like, specific smells, like her perfume and stuff like that, when she's obviously not there. She's been dead
But that's what they said is a hallucination.
Oh.
It's different.
Because maybe I'm pulling up those memories, which then are stimulating those, like, old areas of the, like, brain where I don't know, memories of
you're
smells
never
are
going to
stored,
smell
but there's
garbage and think it's your grandma.
Right. Interesting. I would like to know more on this. And
Yeah.
that is
There's
there is a article that I'm going to talk about in our next episode about how everything we know about taste buds is wrong too. So
Oh, man.
it seems like we need to go back to
Yeah, man.
the old
Get to work, people.
drawing board with the senses over here.
Okay. Do you want to hear the history of lipstick?
Yes, definitely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Did it start with beetles?
There were there were beetles involved in this article for sure.
Yeah, when I was in Peru, they crushed one up and rubbed it on my lips, and it stayed on for like 48 hours.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, this shit is the best. Where do I get more?
Well, that sounds better than what, is often in makeup, which is like toxic,
Yeah.
Yeah, because it even said lipstick is the cosmetic most likely to kill you.
Oh, stop it. Oh, because you're eating it so much.
Yeah, and they used to put like, certain poisons and stuff in there that were like supposed to be really great, but they didn't know it was.
And I heard red is one of the smallest molecules.
Oh.
Color-wise, so it can absorb really well. That's why, like, everything stains red. Like, once it's in there, or like red hair coloring is so hard to get out. Hair color. Mm-hmm. That's confusing with food coloring. But I don't know if this is true. I just heard this. That's why.
Over time, it said they used sheep sweat, human saliva, and crocodile excrements.
Stop it. Sheep sweat? How did they come up with that one?
Yes, wonder if it's like got a color to it.
And what do they do? Run it on a little sheep treadmill first? How are they collecting
they got those
the sheep
big
sweat?
coats. I don't think it takes much.
And just wring them out?
I'm just saying, it seems like they would sweat a lot. They look
but
hot.
like, then what?
I don't know, Sarah.
How are they collecting it?
No further questions, please. No, I don't know. Okay, and then it said the Greeks regulated lipstick, and the reason was they said that lipstick created a potential deception of men and the undermining of class divides, which I love.
Yes.
Like, men get so freaked out when women have any power at all.
Yes. Well, because it's really power over them. It's making them have a reaction that you've said this for a long time, that's what men don't like, is they don't like that somebody is causing, that they like are attracted
They're weak to
yes.
it.
Yeah. That's why all men hate Taylor
Dummies.
Swift like that. Not all of them, but
Right.
some of them do.
It's like, okay, don't blame me.
Right. And they
you're
just like
getting a
red lips
boner.
because that's your lips turn red and get flushed when you're sexually aroused.
Right. And they also look similar to other lips.
Correct.
So,
And they want those lips on something else.
okay, then it said the rise of the Roman Empire saw lipstick once again becoming chic, and even men used it to indicate their social standing for a time, and wealthy women. And then, for a while the ingredients were like the poison stuff. Then
what's red that's poisonous? What were they? I guess they were using like lead and like stuff.
ochre, ochre.
Oh, okra. Okay. Ochre. I just thought that was a cumber. No, I'm thinking of the color umber. I just thought that was a color, not an actual.
Oh, right. Must be
thing.
Some sort of
So
element.
weird.
And
We think like, oh, if it's from like it's ground up rocks, it must be fine. But
right. Depends. Yeah.
they're not like processing this at a chemical plant, you know.
Fucus plants. Then in the Middle Ages, it declined because a plainer and less washed look went into fashion, which cracked me up because it was like the grunge period of that time.
God. Which
Right?
makes sense. Like, you know, maybe right before the Dark Ages. Like, it seems like they were like really goth
Getting
then.
dirty.
Yeah. Grungy.
The High Middle Ages, women who made they thought women who made a pact with the devil wore it, which is fun. And then in the 1700s, when England imposed even harsher restrictions on makeup, Parliament passed legislation that made anything that altered a woman's appearance, from wigs, false teeth, and high-heeled shoes, among them, grounds for having her marriage annulled or being tried for witchcraft.
What? You put on a little lippy and you wear some high heels and you get tried for witchcraft?
Right? Because it's so powerful.
And now it's like, isn't there some keep sweet and be clean, like something about like keeping a good appearance in the, it's like the opposite that people are trying to use to.
You can't win.
Control women. Yeah, you can't win.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to be like made up all the time and blah. Nope.
In 20th century America, suffragettes used lipstick as an emblem of women's emancipation. And then
I'm just going to go with that one and just run it. Witchcraft and pussy power.
Yeah. It says the common American recipe of crushed insects, beeswax, and olive oil produce lipstick with an unfortunate tendency to turn rancid several hours after the application. And it wasn't until 1938, when the U.S. passed the Food and Drug and Cosmetics Act, that safety standards were introduced. No more could cosmetics include poisonous substances.
Well, thank God for that.
Yeah. So there you go. That's the history of lipstick, the abridged version.
I wonder how I heard some stat about how much a woman eats in her lifetime on average.
Yeah, I heard that too. It's probably
like
an
a
urban
couple
legend
tubes.
in that book.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, what, 8 pounds or something?
Yeah, or like, it was like 7 tubes of lipstick or something like that, which when you think about it, I'm like, well, yeah.
For sure. I know I have.
For sure.
I mean, please.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know, man.
I love it. Speaking of lipstick, I have a lipstick of yours that I was like cleaning out my makeup, and it's a YSL lip stain. And I don't know why. I just like hadn't opened it. I was like, oh, I don't know. Maybe like I haven't thought there's like the right time to use this color. It is the most perfect red. It still works amazing. I put it on. I'm like, did we just find our forever look? Watch us like discontinued. It is so good. And that stuff works. Not an ad, just something like shout out to Susie for like, giving me some good shit.
It's worth the money. That's it's good. So you get what you pay for.
Yeah,
Thank
you
God.
give me a good one.
This is very exciting. All right, let's wind it down. Happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Love it. We did talk about witches and dead bodies.
Yes, we did. Body farms, just like fog
sweating
machines.
Sheep.
Yeah, sweating sheep. That sounds very Halloween-y.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah.
And bulletproof vests. I mean,
yeah, this is very, that's basically a horror episode. Yes, totally.
Yeah. And smell illusions.
Ooh, illusions.
And as always, if you want to use any of our codes, they're on thebrainkittypodcast.com because it helps us so much and we love you and you're our best friends.
Thank you so much for doing that.
We'll see you next time, everybody.